Hi, and welcome back, friends of a thoughtful gaming experience. I'm your host, Emmanuel Can, and we are going to proceed with our Let's Play Torment, Tides of Numenera, Patch 1, with a female intellectual. We just listened to the story of the Tybir, of this last survival of the Tybir, the genocide. And now we're going into Government Square, probably, to see if we can help Tybir free his friend. And there we go, waiting for the beautiful loading screens. We don't know what kind of creature that is, with its blue ball, maybe a planetary system in its hands, with his Irokese hair, and that tiger cat-like warrior door. Everything here is strange and interesting. And we're going to talk to this guy who sells badges. But first, to this woman. Alcen Perie. This woman seems to be absorbed by what she's doing. Her blue eyes narrowed in concentration. You realize that she's the nicest looking person you've seen in a while and feel almost compelled to approach her. She shakes out the golden cloth she's examining and holds it up into the light. Such beautiful colors, she murmurs. She meets your gaze. It would look lovely on you. Oh. I heard that you're the keeper of the House of Empty Time. First, who are you? My name is Alcen Perie. You can call me Alcen if you like. She offers a tentative smile. I'm a chirurgeon, but I work mostly with children. Oh, interesting. And creepy. You know, healing scraped knees and the occasional broken bone. We're lucky here in Segos that it's rarely anything more serious. Can you tell me about this place? Of course, this is Government Square, home to the City Council and the Order of Truth. The rest is embassies and city records, but you might enjoy a stop at the Red Thicket. She points to a red stone building nearby. What are you doing? Waiting for an appointment, she says with a tentative smile. I heard that you're the keeper of the House of Empty Time. Then you must have questions. Ask away. How does that House of Empty Time work? A child enters the gate and emerges in another time to find a new family waiting for them. Willing parents register with a keeper in their own time period, and after rigorous questioning, have their names added to the gate itself. After that, she shrugs, who knows? The children have loving families, and those families have children to love. Sounds not creepy, if you put it like that. Why is the House of Empty Time a secret? Because it's not the strongest system in the world. She looks at the gate fondly. No one knows how many trips the old thing can stand, so we use it only for those who really have nowhere else to go. Her face hardens, and if everyone knew about it, some of them would treat it the same way they do other orphanages. We'd find babies dumped in boxes, small children left crying with nothing but the clothes on their backs. She seems to come to a sudden realization of what she's saying, and two bright spots of color appear on her cheeks. She clears her throat uncomfortably. The people of Segos have been very good to me, she says eventually. Why are you in charge of the House of Empty Time? Because I walked through it. She smiled at your reaction. So yes, I was an orphan, and yes, I'm from another time. One much earlier than the present. As a child, I had the unique pleasure of being able to read history books and imagine that my real parents were the heroes of ages past. Her smile dims, and before you ask, my parents in this time are dead, but we spent many happy years together, and I'll always be thankful for the life they gave me. As for the gate itself, she looks at it fondly. When I'm dead, or hopefully before, it will choose a new guardian from those who have passed through it, and I'll have someone to keep me company through the end of my days. Not a bad bargain, all told. Could I adopt a child? I'm afraid not, she says. One of the main requirements for adoption is a stable environment. If you ever decide to settle in Segos, then we can talk. All right. I guess farewell. Interesting. And strange. Is this the House of Empty Time? Don't know. Now what does Segolene say? In the shade of a stall made from the finest materials stands a tall, thin and exquisitely dressed older man. You have never seen a man more exquisitely dressed. The cut, color and quality of his clothes are a symphony of harmonious coordination, while the expression of benevolent condescension he gives you seems as if it would be more at home on the face of a king than a seller of clothes. Good afternoon, he says, bowing slightly. I am Haberdasher Segolene. Welcome to Segolene's Fittings. How may I be of service? Tell me what you sell here. Segolene nods gravely. We sell the finest city wear for discerning men and women, as well as quality armor for those traveling to less civilized locales. And if you are a citizen of the city, we can also offer you our exclusive Cliffs collection, the best of the best for the best. He clears his throat and directs your attention to a well-dressed mannequin wearing the badge of an employee of the city. Although it is our honor to have been chosen to provide the city of Segos Cliffs with official badges worn by all properly credentialed city employees. You may trust in their trust in us. How does one become a citizen of Segos Cliffs? Slave families require an oath, and you must also sacrifice a year of your life to create a levy. But I am not the man to talk about such things. You should speak to the Council Clerk. Tell me about Government Square. Of course, madam. He puts a finger to his chin. Let me think. There's Council Tower just over there and the Order of Truth. And you can't forget the Red Thicket, that walled courtyard on the edge of the square. Were you curious about our fountain here? Well, now that you mention it, tell me about the fountain. One of the stranger and more poignant attractions here in the square. The creatures in it are called jellies, and they chatter in 1,000 dead tongues. The priests say that a new jelly is born each time an old language dies. He shakes his head. You could listen to them for a month and never hear the same language twice, or understand a single one. What's the Red Thicket? Ah, yes. The Whispering Wood, I call it. A very curious and ancient place. You can talk as loud as you like in there, and no one but the person you are talking to can hear you. It is often used for secret meetings and the like. Can you tell me about the Order of Truth? They are a credit to our city. Wise scholars and deep thinkers, he smiles. Excellent customers as well. They are very particular about their robes. Let me ask you about something else. Tell me what you know about the people here in Government Square. I'm not one to gossip, sir, but if you insist, who do you wish to know about? What can you tell me about the Council Clerk? He smiles. There's a fellow with hands everywhere. And I mean that quite literally. He takes care of all of the Council's documents and has his papers and documents stored in 100 places all over town, but can pluck them from the air around him at will. Something else? Certainly, madam. can I buy an official city badge? I'm sorry to say that city badges are not for sale. They are given to duly elected or appointed public servants of Sager's Cliffs, and it is illegal for me to give them to anyone who does not work for the city. I would be breaking the law. Tybir, but you won't be breaking the law. My friend here has just been made Undersecretary to Overseer Yin. A messenger should be coming shortly with a letter of commission. But you know how Yin is, always a bit sloppy with his paperwork. And we could try deception. Maybe that's the real thing for an intellectual. That's alright, Tybir. He'll soon enough to Segolene. Yin's delay won't be a problem, will it? That is challenging, though. Perhaps we could mitigate the risk to him, however. Segolene purses his lips. I'm afraid I am unbribable, my friend, but if you were to purchase this fine pair of red boots for, say, 300 shins, it is possible I might leave something of value in the left boot by accident. Let me ask about something else first. Wait until Segolene isn't looking and try to steal the badge from the mannequin. How hard is that? Oh, that's hard even. You sure you can't sell me a badge? Actually, I've just been made Undersecretary of the Overseer of Executions. I guess the letter of commission hasn't come through yet. That's not a problem, is it? Oh, and the second time it's harder, but let's try it anyways. Failure. I'm terribly sorry, madam. Normally I would take you at your word, but in matters regarding city business, I must be exceptionally cautious. I'm afraid we'll have to wait for the paperwork to arrive. We'll try to steal the badge. Critical success. Stats spent on effort restored. Oh, nice. Seeing what you're up to, Tybir distracts Segolene by asking him about a beautiful waistcoat. While they are both turned away from you, you pluck the badge off the mannequin. Segolene turns back to you just as you hide it. He suspects nothing. Of course not. Haberdasher Segolene bows as you enter. Welcome back, madam. It is an honor to serve you again. What can I do for you? Oh, well, I have an appointment. So goodbye. So let's see, what are we doing next? We're doing quests now. Exciting. And now we need to acquire an old stay of execution from the Council Clerk. And I think that guy was here. So many petitioners. Let's talk to him. Hi there, Mr. Clerk, mister. Behind the lectern, a four-eyed, hairless mutant processes paper with balletic grace. He's endlessly snapping the elegant fingers of his left hand, and each time the air twists and shimmers, either disgorging a document to be processed or accepting one that he's completed with his ink-stained right hand. Each of his eyes regards a distinct object, portals that are opening, preambles and recitals that must be reviewed, zone addenda that must be flawless. One eye twitches in your direction. Exaggerated scorn twists his mouth, and though his eye remains fixed on your face, he gives no verbal acknowledgement. The closest he comes is a faint sigh. At last, after shunting a half-dozen more documents to some distant cubby, he condescends to speak. You must wait, of course, until council matters conclude. His quarter gaze leaves you, his face returns to its former equanimity, and he continues his work, which shows no evidence of slacking, let alone concluding. We'll try the intellectual way. I assure you that my matters are important enough to be worth a moment of your time. It's challenging, but critical success. Nice. This means our points are restored again. The clerk conveys his personal regard for the importance of your matters with a long, loud sigh, but he focuses one of his eyes on you and replies, very well, very well. Let us weigh the worth of your needs, shall we? What is it that you want? I'd like to talk about paperwork. Faint sigh is the only acknowledgement you receive. And we will use persuasion again, as that worked so well. In order to put a stop to a wrongful punishment, I need the stay of execution issued for Cole Cardin. Critical success, how nice. The clerk hesitates for a moment, then shrugs. It happens that the letter was consigned to destruction by year's end. Anyway, given the confirmation of Cardin's demise, with a snap of his fingers a letter appears, and he looks it over. Yes, yes, here we are. Quite the criminal he was, and no slouch in treason. But who am I to question the clemency of our peerless council? He hands it to you with a slight sniff. So, we have forged a pardon. You are a miracle, my friend, says Tybir. Here, let me have that. I copy it out and add Riz's name. He takes the document from you, sets it by a blank sheet, and laboriously but very neatly copies it word for word, except for the name of the condemned. That he changes to Riz, then signs it and gives the copy to you. There, let that dry a moment, then take it to the overseer at the gibbet, and don't worry, he'll sense nothing amiss. The Chief Justice's signature was flawless, if I do say so myself. So we're going to save Riz. What is that thing here? Cannot read that even. Hello, is it always this warm? Don't know who that guy is, but we'll go free Riz. That rhymes. Let's go back to Circus Minor and see to it. Seems like the first quests are sometimes without regretful consequences if you fail. But as you have seen with the obsidian pillar in the reef, everything you do and fail here can be potentially deadly, even though you might get a warning, as we did, but we ignored it, just expecting it would be a normal RPG where you cannot die from dialogue.